Tonight must not be the night, but we're gonna make it the night. We thank the heavenly for the opportunity to be able to see each other tonight. And it's getting kind of late. I'm ready to go to bed. I'm tired. I got up early this morning. Had the day off. What a day! I had to I preferably would have been working overtime, but I would have got up at 8 o'clock in the morning. Only overtime was overnight, right? So I would have gotten off at 8 o'clock in the morning. And with that being said, if I got up at 8 o'clock in the morning, I would have been asleep all day. But I thought I had an appointment at 1 o'clock. Well, the appointment didn't go through, so I'm like, all right, cool. But I still had to wait for some people from the management, the maintenance to come by and put up some fire extinguishers, fire warning things, whatever you call them, fire alarms. So I said, well, I want to be here. I got all this stuff in here. I got guitars all over the place. I want to be here. So they came through. I caught them like early, a little bit after 1, because like I said, my appointment had been canceled. So I caught them a little bit after 1. I'm like, can you hit me up right now? I had clothes in the washer, man. I'm washing clothes. I'm waiting for them. Trying to keep myself like, all right, cool. Now that I missed my appointment, or my appointment canceled, now I had to do something else. It's crazy. And then after that, I decided, okay, well, I'm going out anyway. So I went out, and I had to meet this young man to pick up this new piece I had. I should have brought the case box thing back here, but I didn't. Oh, I did. I picked up one of these today, a Tech21 VT Bass DI. That's what I picked up. Now, as y'all well know, I also already had the tone hammer. So I'm like, all right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to compare the two tonight. So the seller actually said, well, look, I give it to the night. If you don't like it, if it doesn't do for you what the tone hammer does for you, then, I'll take it back from you. I'm like, all right, cool. That's a good deal because, I wasn't able to hear it when I bought it from him. So what I was going to do is I was testing out 3 other basses. I was testing out the Music Man back here that has double humbuckers. I had the Streamer that has double humbuckers. And I had the new G&L I had just bought. That was back here. And I was going to work with those basses. But I don't need these for those basses. I need these EQs, the Tone Hammer and the VT Bass DI from the company called Tech21. It was my first Tech21 pedal. It was my first Aguilar pedal too. And I didn't want to change out pickups on my basses or anything like that. So, make sure if you're here, hit the like button. Hit the like for me. There's only one person here, so hit the like button. Usually when people see just in case for the one person who's here, when people see my channel, if they don't see anything about fragrances, they're just going to keep on pushing by. You know what I mean? They might stop by real quick. But it's about music. I haven't really built up my music repertoire as far as doing videos. So a lot of times people won't stop by until later on. And I'll get a comment from like a video I did a year ago. I'm like, man, I don't even have that guitar anymore. But that's the way it goes, right? That's why you do videos. So I prefer to do live videos than doing pre-recorded videos. Because you get to see me mess up live and whatever it is. Had the headphones on because I can't have the microphone on and the studio equipment on at the same time where you get feedback, of course. So can't do that. So what I did was, I can tell you. I have the Aguilar and then I have the VT bass. So I got the cable plugged into the VT bass, come out of the VT bass, and I can compare that and the tone hammer. And it's all being powered by, the tone hammer is being powered by 48 volts from my Claret Pre-2. So we're going to use the Fender Precision and a Rickenbacker. And you're not going to believe what just happened. I have no idea. The Rickenbacker is right here on this stand. This is crazy. This Rickenbacker was sitting right here on this stand right here. I was working on this bass, setting up everything for the sound, right? I was minding my business, setting up for the sound. All of a sudden I heard, bloom. I'm like, what the heck? I look over. Somehow the Rickenbacker bass has came out of this hook right here and fell right on my knob on my Express and knocked my knob off. That's crazy. And that's why I said, man, what a crazy day. But we're going to make it better, hopefully, in part 2 of this video, okay? All right, that was crazy, though. So right now, playing my American Fender Precision with my pick guard I put on there, my orange pick guard. I think it went pretty well with the orange burst coming out the back. You know what I mean? Instead of, I had another dark one on here. Well, it came with a white one. Or it came with a black one, I'm not sure. Anyway, I think it came with a white one. I took that one off. And I just replaced the pick guard on my Strat too. They had a white pick guard. I took that off too. Alright? So what we're going to do is, we're going to click through the VT bass DI and the tone hammer. We're going to start with the VT bass. Now, in setting this up, I already noticed something already. Right now, I have the VT level set to straight up and down, 12 o'clock. I had the blend. There's a blend knob on here so you can blend in the pedal with the straight signal, which is what you're hearing right now. And I'm at to adjust the volume because sometimes the bass get a little hot. And by the way, I had a precision back here that does have a pre in it too, so that way we can use the passive basses for this test. I have the mid up and down, the character, which adds a little bit of spicy sparkle to it, if you ask me, when looking at the videos, is all the way down. The drive is all the way down. The low and the mid is straight up 12 o'clock. I have the bite in, but I'm going to take the bite out. They said you should always have a bite in, is what they say. But we're not, because we want to see what the difference is. And we had the speaker simulation on, which simulates a 10-inch speaker. This is supposed to be like the brain section of the amp, without the tubes and everything, and the speakers. But then you hit the speaker button, it'll emulate having a 10-inch speaker, which is what I'll be using it with. My QSC, 10.2. So here we go. It is off now, right? It's off now. 3 people in, please hit the like and subscribe button. Please hit the like, subscribe, and share my videos with other people. Please, I appreciate it. Whether it's fragrances, whether it's instruments, please like, subscribe, share my videos. There's 3 people here. There's no likes. Nobody like me. Okay, it's okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do is now I'm going to hit the input. Now what I notice is it loses output. That's off. When I click it in, so it goes down. Now y'all gonna hear the clickety click because it's actually coming from the microphone. Here we go. So I want it all the way up. If you can't hear me, then you're not gonna be able to hear me. If there's 3 people here and still no lights. Okay, but I'm not sure if you can hear me. Check, check, check. You probably can't hear me because this bad boy want to hear me. Check, check, check. And I want y'all to, I want y'all to hear the vibe. See how it's picking it up? All right, turn it down a little bit more. Hopefully y'all can hear me. All right, so here we go. It's off. All right, so what I did was the output says it says plus 10 for dB. So I guess you should have it on plus 10 for the output, the 1/4-inch cable. So we're going to do that. right, so what I'm noticing is on the level, you have to have the level really, you got to have the level past half for it to equal the input. So, right, that's the same right now when I turn it on because I turned the level up. The level is about at 2.5 o'clock, almost 3. So now let me add the blend, which will add whatever else I'm doing on this. So the blend doesn't work. Oh, here we go. Okay, so now I'm turning up the bass. I'm going to turn the bass up. Here we go. And the blend's not even in. So I'm trying to figure out. That's weird. Because it's like. Now I haven't read the manual on this, so I don't know how it's supposed to work. But with the blend all the way to the left. Right? And when I turn the blend all the way to the right, like let's add everything in, it loses volume. Weird. I had a bite in now, and I had a speaker in. So when I put the blend in, I guess the blend is for the drive. Okay? So this is the blend all the way out. Level is at 2 o'clock. Now the pedal is not on. Now the pedal is on. Blend is at no o'clock. Well, actually, 7 o'clock. We're going to add the blend in. We got some character. So I just added character, so it gave it a little bit of brightness. A little bit of brightness. There's character halfway. That's no character at all. So let's go character 9 o'clock. Let's turn the highs up. That's crazy. So I don't know why I said always had the bite in. Always had the bite in on this. I thought so. It's actually when you really start to really flick it. When you really digging in, I think that's what the bite is for. Okay. Let me turn down. If I'm plucking, I gotta turn down the mic. That was the plucking part. All right. So I'm seeing, now I really don't want to do the drive thing, but I think the drive is to give you that tube type sound. So let's add a little bit of character to the middle. Now put some drive in there. Ooh. Now what this is supposed to emulate is a VT head. And back in the day, my man used to have a VT, no, he used to have a V4, they had a B4, stuff like that. But the VT, only thing I remember being a VT was a VT22 guitar amp. My man had a VT22 guitar amp, but he was actually playing an organ through it with some Leslies. It was cool. He had a VT22, they had 2 Leslies on the side, stereo Leslies. Crazy. Imagine hauling those around for shows, right? That was unbelievable. If y'all know what Leslies are these big speakers. If you go to church, sometimes you'll see Leslies if they're not plugged into a system. And they look like big stereo furniture. They look like furniture, but they have horns and baffles inside. And when they hit a certain thing on the organ, and they'll speed there so that that's what the baffles do inside of Leslie's. So that's why I heard a VT22, but this is the VT bass. So I guess there's a VT bass amp made back in the day. I don't know the name of it. Now turn it off. So now it's off. Now let's turn it on. Add a little bass. Ooh. All right, I'm gonna take the character out. I'm gonna take the mid out, and now it's gonna have bass and treble with the blend up. More blend. I'll move the blend back a little bit. So if you add that bite in, you really get that plucking thing. Put the mid back in. So yeah, so when you add that in, I still got plastic on this pick guard. I think I still got the plastic on this pick guard. It feels like I remember taking it off. I'm sorry, you're going to be talking about the bass. I'm talking about the plastic on the pick guard because it's bothering my hand. Yeah, it's still, here we go. It was bothering my hand, man. I'm like, oh, this feels ridiculous. So let's take it off. I have my other bass, right? I have my jazz bass. And I bought a, take this all off. And I bought, what's that about for the jazz bass? Oh no, I bought a pick guard for it, so I bought a pick guard for the jazz bass, right? Because it was black, I changed it out. And I bought another pick guard. I bought a burgundy pick guard, not like this, but a burgundy joint. Actually, this color would look better on the wood because it's brighter. But anyway, so I said, well, I want a thumb rest. So I bought a thumb rest, but I didn't want to drill into the guitar. So I took some super glue and super glued it onto the pick guard. Kind of find out I never took the plastic off the pick guard. Thank goodness, because it was a big mess. The super glue it got all down onto the pick guard and everything. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna mess up the pick guard. I gotta glue the doggone thumb rest on here like crazy. Good thing I ain't take the plastic off. Took off the plastic, everything came off. Good to go. Anyway. All right, so now I'm going to add in the speaker simulation. It's supposed to make it sound like it's coming out of a 10-inch speaker. Let's see. So it seems like when you do the speaker simulation, it kind of muffles the sound. Check it out. So it takes a little bit of the high out. But it seems as though if you took the high out for the speaker, just add some character. And the character kicking in. To me, it's almost like a 4-band EQ instead of a 3-band EQ. Thanks for the like. I appreciate it. Instead of a 3-band EQ, it's actually a 4-band because the character is almost acting like it's changing the mid. So that's the mid all the way out. That's mid all out. That's everything off. All right, so now we're going to kick it back in. The character adds a lot of high end, like high mids. I'm going to turn the mids all the way up. Yeah, so the character to me is basically just adding high mids, if you ask me. Let's turn the highs up. Let's turn the character up. It seems like the character gets more highs than the actual high. Yeah, so the character almost acts like it's another frequency to me. Character actually acts as if it is a high mid boost. That's what it sounds like to me. Now the reason I bought both of these preamps is because I didn't want to change the pickups. I was going to buy some Aguilar pickups and put in here some Aguilar 60s. I wasn't going to use the Fender 62s or anything like that. I figured I'd use the Aguilar 60s. Not going to replace these, but I'm not good at soldering. And even though it would have been really easy with these two pickups, because all I had to do is just unsolder the two pickups from the knobs and just take them out and then put the new ones in and solder them back to the knob. It would have been easy. It's just been a two-wire deal, but something about going inside a bass that I've never done it before. I'm not going to start doing it now. If I buy the bass, I like the way it sounds, and that's the way it's going to sound. So I decided to buy the Aguilar tone hammer. But I was going around, and all of a sudden, JB, who I bought this VT bass from, was actually selling this. I'm like, do I really need this? So I said, well, let me sell some fragrances last night. So I sold some fragrances. I made a couple of dollars. I'm like, okay, cool. Actually, I bought a bass too, but I had the guy send it back because he didn't know whether the neck was good or not. It was some kind of place that somebody must have gave them something. Maybe it was given to them. I don't know. Some kind of place, Rare Finds, and they was selling a BB300 bass. I was like, well, please check the neck and everything before you send it to me. So then he accepted my offer for $200, which is a good price for that, but it's a real nice bass. It's like a precision bass. It's like this, but it's made by Yamaha, maybe Taiwan, maybe Japan, I'm not sure. But he wasn't sure whether the neck was straight because they weren't musicians. They were just people who got stuff. So he canceled that. So I'm like, well, it made it easy for me to buy the VT bass DI. I'm like, well, I ain't got to pay $200 for the guitar, and I paid $160 for this. So far it's not bad. A little bit more drive. Now a lot of people do the drive. I'll put the drive, then back down a level. Now a lot of people doing it, just oversaturating the circuit with this. I'm not playing with no pick. I'm not playing rock. I'm not gonna. Only thing I can play with a freaking pick is a guitar, not a bass. And some bass. So that's pretty cool, and it's picking up everything. So I don't know what a VT, well, Ampeg make VT stuff. But this is a very nice pedal. I really like it. So it's regular. Start adding more stuff. Look at that. Add some blend. High. Take the mid out. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. All right, so that's how that's rolling right there. So it's a nice piece. So now let's go over to the tone hammer. Now, the tone hammer has this thing called the AG, which actually helps to, it kind of does the same thing. It's almost like the drive circuit in here. So now and this tone hammer is 18 volts, whereas the VT bass is 9 volts. Take 1 battery. And it also takes the phantom power supply too. But I put the phantom power supply in the tone hammer instead. Alright, so that's the tone hammer. And when I hit this AG, yeah, I start growling. So it's supposed to do something to the circuit. It acts like the drive on the VT bass, actually. I mean, let's turn it off and turn the drive on. Let's turn anything flat. I'm gonna put the blend in the middle, and the character I'm gonna turn down. See how I turned the ground? Right? So let's go to Aguilar. So it seems as though it's a drive circuit. Now, I don't know what AGS actually means. I think it does mean something about driving the circuit. But I'm not into that kind of. I don't play the I don't play that kind of music. I play sexy music that the ladies like. That's what the ladies like to hear. They don't want to hear all that. No, I don't want to hear all that. They don't want to hear all that. Too noisy, too crazy. You're never going to be able to cuddle with your baby with all that going on in the bedroom. She just wants something smooth. Yeah, the tone hammer just is not as versatile as this VT bass, but I haven't taken it all through the paces yet. So now let's add a little bit of bass to this bad boy, because what we have here is we have bass, treble, mid frequency, and mid level. So you can pick the level of the mids that you want, which is different from the VT, because the VT either boost the mids or you turn up the mids, but the character gives you another. I think it gives you another band of EQ. I just really think the character gives you 4 band EQ instead of 3. So you can hear the sweep. I'll let y'all hear the sweep in the mid frequency on Aguilar, which I do like. See what I'm saying? But you got to turn it up. So that's not bad. That mid sweep, which the VT bass doesn't have, does give you another opportunity to have a different sound. You see what I'm saying? Let's add a little bit more bass. What I did notice, what I didn't like was the bass on the tone hammer. You don't get a lot of bass. Let's check it out. Let's turn the bass up. Hold up. There's a little bass in there. Okay, we got a little bass happening right there. We got a little bass. Now I got the master up and the gain up. They're both at 12 o'clock. Let's back down the gain to 9 o'clock. I just did my own thing right there. I was making stuff up right there. No bass. Half bass. All the bass. Okay, let's try the treble. No treble. Okay, half treble. All the treble. Yeah, people told me I don't have no technique on bass because I'm a guitar player. A guitar player, not a bass player. I just like beautiful basses. So let's emulate a Music Man. Bass and treble up. Okay? What's going on, Sunshine Chick? How you doing, young lady? Hope everybody is well. I hope you're doing well. All right, so we're going to turn the treble up and the bass up, and we're going to turn the mid-level down. A little bit more up. See if we get that Music Man sound. Turn down the master a little bit because it's probably clipping a little. Master back up. That's not bad. Oh, no doubt about it. Absolutely. Always good to see you too, dear. I wish you lived in Philly. I wish I lived in Florida. Sunshine. All right. All right, so now it's time to do some direct comparisons. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to emulate the very same thing at the very same level onto the VT bass, okay? So here we go. And I'm going to turn the mic off, okay? I'm going to turn the mic down a little bit so we don't hear that. We don't hear all my clicking from the strings. Now, if you see me stop and then move, that means I'm going to the other one, okay? That's all you got to know. I'm going to play around with both of them. Once I stop, that means I'm clicking off one, I'm clicking on the other one. I'm going to turn the mic off a little bit. So they are kind of close. They both have the identity though. I think at setting this right here, once you set the tone hammer, and the tone hammer is known for the power. That's why it's 18 volts, two 9-volt batteries, as opposed to only one 9-volt battery in the VT base, which I pulled out of another pedal. So it's probably not all that good, but it did sting my tongue, right? So yeah, it's totally different in that aspect. I got both of the bass and treble turned up. I got the mid all the way out. I got the mid all the way out in that one. Let me do it again. Just double check. So basically, they got the same type of engine. The VT base has more going for it as far as flexibility with the character knob and the drive knob. I don't even have the character knob on yet. You got the bite switch that'll give you a little bit more bite. But not a lot more bite, so it's not like it's giving you like an extra super duper double hitter bite. It's just a little bit more brightness. Just a little bit more brightness. But again, when you're kicking this character now, the mid's all the way down. Now with the mid's all the way down here, that's it. The mid's all the way down. The mid's down over here, now you can add a little character. So now you can bring just a little bit more high mids up, even though the mids are down. You know what I'm saying? So you get more flexibility with the VT bass. And then you add the drive in just to give that. The drive is just to simulate like it's a tube. You know what I mean? Now I'm going to turn the drive up. I'm going to turn the level down a little bit so we can enjoy that. Right? And let's go to the Aguilar. And the mids are still out. Now, even if I kick in this AG, see what I'm saying? Now that's kicking in the AG all by itself. All right. Now you're still able to use the bass and the treble and everything when you do that. Now, all right. Now I got it back in. Now we're kicking the AGS. Right? And we're going to kick this one back in because I think I was messing up. And I think I still had the Aguilar on while I was doing the VT. Now I'm going to knock out some of that character down to half. so that's pretty cool. And this is the regular sound of the bass. And now let's put everything back to the mid. Everything is up and down, middle. We're going to take the character out because the character and the drive are what you're going to add. So this is the regular bass. Okay, so again, you got to turn the level up. When it's off, it's like I lose a little level with the VT bass. When I add that blend, I'm sorry, kick the blend all the way to the other side. So like I said, the level at 3, I'm gonna put the level at 3 o'clock. That's the one. That's the bass. Now it's on. Then we're gonna turn some blend in, which blends in the circuit here. We're gonna put it halfway. Add some character. Add a little bite. Add a little drive. Add a little bass. Turn down the level a little bit. And there you go. So it's not bad. It's not bad at all. I like the versatility of the VT bass pedal. To Aguilar real quick. Anything in the middle? So it's the same level. Now with the VT, with Aguilar, you just got to have it at 9 o'clock. With the VT, you got to have it at 3 o'clock. It's kind of crazy, but now we engage it. And the difference is too, you have a gain input for the Aguilar, and then you have a master out, whereas there is no gain input for the VT, but there is a level output. So that's the difference too. Okay. And when you keep the AGS in, it just makes it, it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't add drive to it that you would want to use. It adds drive to it, but doesn't add warm drive like the VT bass does, okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change basses, and we're going to plug in, the Rickenbacker, and then we're going to be done. The Rickenbacker that just knocked the, I can't believe this even fell. I can't believe this bass fell. It just fell and hit the knob, and I know it was in the, that's what I'm standing. All right, so we got both pickups in on the Rickenbacker. Now, the reason I would like this bass because I want to use the vintage. By pulling out this one right here, you can get the vintage. So you can hear the voice change a little bit. So when you pull this out, let's put it for the vintage sound. So let's play around with it. And the reason I bought these also is because this bass, even though it's very expensive, it has no output. It has no built-in preamp, so it is what it is. So by buying one of these preamps, you can add some stuff. And make it sound like it's trying to do something. So add a little treble, add a little bass, turn the mids out. Turn the mic off. Then we're going to kick out of that one, and we're going to go into the VT. Take the character out. These are low end, because we got the low end here, and we got the high end, the treble end too. We have both ends. Not as much bass. Hit all the highs in. Now the level is different. Like I said, on the tone hammer, I got the level up at 12, and I got the master up at 12. Right? Then we're going to turn it off and go here. So you can hear the difference in the level. So now we're going to turn the level up on here. So I think the difference also in these two pedals is the fact that you got an input level or a gain, and then you have a master. Usually the gain is the input and the master is the master volume. Whereas on the VT bass, you don't have that. You just had a level output. And that is it for me. I am done talking about these basses. And I'm just tripping over the fact that this bass actually fell and knocked off my knob on my amp. It is what it is. All right, y'all. So I'm going to talk to y'all later. Maybe tomorrow we'll play around with the other basses, heaven willing. We'll play around with them bad boys and see what's popping with those. But in the meantime, I was going to bring my guitar back here. Actually, I still got to bring the guitar back here and play with that while I figure out what I'm going to do with this knob on this amp. Because that was crazy right there. That was crazy, dog. I don't know what you were thinking, but that was crazy. I had to talk to the bass. Talk to y'all later. Have a great night. Be well. Talk to you soon. Pray for me. I pray for you. And I'm out. Later. And thanks to my man. Thanks to JB. Y'all two different. I'll keep both of them. Because they both do different things. Never know. They both are good. And we out. Later.